Today we'll be working with a new project that sits on roughly 60 acres to give us a quick overview of Carlson Survey and Carlson Civil while running IntelliCAD as our CAD engine. My project folder is going to start with only 3 files: the point data, a roadway template, and settings for my plan and profile sheets. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up a drawing to contain my information. It's going to be called Carlson Overview in a folder that I've already created. We'll go to the next step here, which is to import a file that would normally come from a surveyor, and we're going to go ahead and grab that. That's one of the files sitting in the folder. And now we've imported about 2,911 points here. And before I place them, I'm going to use a tool in Carlson called point groups to separate out 2 segments of the points. The first group is going to be ground shots. These shots are not going to need attributes on them. They're just shots on the ground. So I'll set those up, and the description is going to be nil on those, and most of the shots in the file are like that. The second group is going to be the shots that aren't ground shots, which have been coded to draw center lines and boundaries for us automatically later. So I'll go ahead and grab those out of the file by description. They're down towards the end of the file. I'll just make sure I get them all here and group select them and OK that, and now I've got the 2 point groups set up. Now I'll go ahead and place the ground shots. I'm doing that by using this draw nodes only capability, and I'll select the ground shot point group, and here come the points, and in just a second or two I'll have them all drawn in. You can kind of see they're coming into the middle of the screen here, and let's go ahead and triangulate and contour that. And in one quick easy step here, we'll go ahead and name our model EG for existing ground. Take a look at the contour settings. If you want to see details on all these settings, you can watch some of the training seminars, but I'm just going to accept defaults throughout the overview today. So we're going to grab the points. It'll automatically boundary this and write out the files, create the contours, and there they are. So I'm just going to use the Carlson tool here to freeze off those layers after I save the file to make room for my boundary and my center lines to come in, and just unclutter the screen a little bit here. So I'll go to the survey menu and choose field to finish. And I'll select that point group I created earlier, just for the last points in the file, and we'll process that. And you'll see it places the points, draws the lines between them, closes out the boundary, and it's all set for me to now start creating a lot network. So I'll go ahead and do that. Here's the settings for the lot network. Again, details on settings can be available later. I'm going to select the boundary, set up a road network to contain the 2 streets. I'm just going to call that roads. And so now it's created. Over in the left hand side, we've docked a screen. I'm going to pick the 2 lines that represent the roads and assign them to center line files. I'm just going to call them R1 and R2. So here goes R1, and we'll set up our right-of-way file to contain right-of-way information. I'll just name that ROW for right-of-way and set these to be 30 feet left and right. Go ahead and save that. Okay, let's add in the second one. We'll go ahead and screen pick that polyline. And again, we're going to name this one R2. Save that. You can see it popped an intersection in, and it automatically used the right-of-way settings, assuming they'll be the same. And you can see the intersections found there. I'm going to place a cul-de-sac on one end of the R2 alignment here. 60 feet for the radius and 25 for the incoming radii. And we're ready to process and create lots and do all kinds of things here in one quick step. Let's go. That's going to prompt me to place a curve table in rather than having the curves annotated, just one of the options. So I'm going to select to place on screen here, and you'll see that all the annotation for the lot lines, the names of the lots, all done all in one fell swoop. Let's modify this a little bit. It gave us a good starting point, but I want to remove this leg and drag it over here to the end and clean this up a little bit. I'll snap to the end there, and then I'm going to extend the other line out. You'll see that the annotation is there, but I'm going to run a quick command to fix that up in a moment. Let's do that, extend that out. Now let's zoom over here and drag this lot up more to the middle and even out that last lot size a little bit. We'll snap nearest and just drag along that front lot line. And now I'm going to go ahead and run the update command, and it's going to update all my annotation automatically. You can see it replaces the curve table. All the annotation is automatically updated. I'll save that and exit. Let's go ahead and now model the three-dimensional aspects of our roads. So I'll go back to our civil menu here in a moment, and then we will grab that same road network, and parts of it are already filled in for us. So I'll just grab that one, open it up. That error message will go away as soon as we tell it which typical section we're going to use. So first thing I want to do is set the original ground surface to my existing terrain model that I made earlier. And in my output settings, I want to go ahead and write out a final model for the road. And the two models that will be used for other things. One, a merged model, merging the existing to the final. And then the second one is really a model for Serve PC or Serve CE to be used in the field, or automatically write out stakeout information for the roadways. So let's save that and then go up here and input the rest of the information for the roadway. Profiles, again, I'm going to call them R1 and R2. You'll see that it automatically just does a straight line profile from existing ground to existing ground at the ends. We'll go ahead and add in a vertical PI and a curve length of, say, 400 here. And let's add another one in there, drop a PI in, and put in about 150 here. That looks good enough for now. Let's go ahead and save that and exit. The template was pre-created. If you want to see template creation, there's some seminars that are good for that. I tell it which point on the typical section to use as a transition point between the roadways. Let's go ahead and put in the profile for R2. Again, we'll just name it R2. And again, it's the straight line, but now it's a straight line to the intersection, not to the existing ground. And I'll go ahead and drop in a PI here and put in a vertical curve. Notice that that's too long. Let's throw in a 300-foot vertical curve instead. I can drag that around if I don't like the location. Let's drag it down just a little bit. Again, for the sake of our example, we're not going to fine-tune it too much. Let's grab the template, say OK, and check the transition point for, yep, that's in there already for our cul-de-sac. Save it. Now, one quick step, we're going to process a number of models are going to get written out. Brake line geometry for the roads. Everything's being modeled, and we've created all the contours. Everything is ready to go. Let's go take a look at that in our 3D viewer real quick. You're going to see as we zoom up on the intersection, it's intelligently modeled. It's gone right through there. You can see the curb. Right here, you can see the crown of the road. Very nicely done. Every time I would fine-tune this, I could just reprocess real quickly. Everything's written out fresh. Let's go see what a plan profile sheet would look like here. I'll go ahead and set my center line. We're going to do the one for the R1, so we'll select R2, R1 profile. Okay, that. Let's load some predetermined settings. That's the last file that was sitting in the folder. And here's our plan profile sheet. Vertical curves are all labeled. Nice layout here, all ready to go. We'll save that. That's a quick, brief overview of Carlson Survey and Carlson Civil. Obviously, they can do a number of other things. This just gives you a taste of what the two products can do.